The deeper DARPA went underground, the less the public seemed to know. Most people know DARPA as the agency that helped shape the modern world: the internet, stealth technology, advanced robotics, artificial intelligence, military innovation decades ahead of its time. But behind the polished presentations and futuristic breakthroughs sits a far more controversial history, one tied to surveillance systems, psychological warfare research, biological experimentation, and projects that critics say pushed ethical boundaries far beyond public awareness. Imagine entering a secure government facility late at night. Bright laboratories glow behind reinforced glass. Engineers present the future of human technology to military officials. Autonomous systems move silently across test chambers. Artificial intelligence predicts battlefield outcomes before soldiers even arrive. And beneath it all, another level exists: restricted compartments, sealed projects, classified research, programs most people would never hear about unless something leaked, failed, or was exposed years later. DARPA, originally created as ARPA in 1958 after the Soviet launch of Sputnik, was designed to present the United States as ever falling technologically behind again. And in many ways, it succeeded. ARPANET became the foundation for the modern internet. Military satellite systems evolved into technologies now connected to GPS. Advanced aerospace research changed modern warfare forever. But during the Vietnam War, ARPA also became heavily involved in counterinsurgency research and experimental military programs tied to jungle warfare, environmental control, battlefield surveillance, and predictive monitoring systems. One of the most controversial areas surrounding that era involved the wider technological and military ecosystem connected to Agent Orange. Millions of gallons of chemical defoliants were sprayed across Vietnam in operations intended to destroy forest cover and enemy supply routes. Years later, many American veterans reported devastating long-term illnesses, cancers, neurological disorders, respiratory disease, and other chronic conditions believed to be linked to toxic exposure. Vietnamese civilians reported catastrophic environmental and generational consequences that, according to many accounts, continued long after the war itself had ended. And for countless veterans, the suffering did not stop when they came home. Many spent years fighting for recognition, compensation, medical support, and acknowledgement of what they believed their exposure had caused. Some described the process as another war entirely, one fought through paperwork, denial, bureaucracy, and institutional resistance. As the Cold War evolved, DARPA's focus increasingly expanded beyond physical battlefields and into information itself. By the early 2000s, the agency's Information Awareness Office introduced one of the most controversial surveillance concepts in modern history: total information awareness. The goal was to analyze enormous amounts of personal data, emails, financial transactions, travel records, communications, behavioral patterns, in order to identify potential threats before attacks could occur. Critics warned it resembled the architecture of mass surveillance on a scale never seen before. The project became infamous, not only because of its scope, but because of its symbolism. An all-seeing eye overlooking the planet appeared in official imagery beside the phrase, "Knowledge is power." Then came LifeLog, a DARPA-linked concept designed to digitally record and organize nearly every aspect of a person's life: locations, purchases, messages, interactions, media consumption, daily routines, even behavioral patterns. Officially, the project was cancelled after privacy backlash, but online speculation surrounding it never fully disappeared. especially after observers noticed the timing coincidence between LifeLog's cancellation and the rise of social media platforms built around voluntary sharing personal lives online. DARPA also funded projects that sounded less like conventional defense research and more like science fiction. The High MEMS program explored the possibility of integrating microelectronics into living insects during metamorphosis, creating insect-machine hybrids capable of remote guidance and surveillance applications. Elsewhere, experimental concepts reportedly included bizarre military logistics ideas, such as mechanical elephants designed for jungle environments during the Vietnam era. Some projects succeeded, some failed, some quietly disappeared, and surrounding all of it has always been the deeper question: how much of DARPA's actual work does the public ever see? Because alongside its public-facing research exists a much larger culture of classified military development, black budget speculation, intelligence community overlap, and compartmentalized programs that fuel decades of suspicion and theory. DARPA itself has long operated within a broader ecosystem involving defense contractors, intelligence agencies, advanced weapons research, and national security operations. Researchers, journalists, critics, and former officials have all debated where legitimate defense innovation ends and where unchecked technological power begins. Today, many of the technologies once considered impossible are no longer theoretical. Autonomous warfare systems already exist. Artificial intelligence now analyzes human behavior at enormous scale. Neural interface research continues advancing. Surveillance capabilities grow more sophisticated every year. And some believe the public is only seeing the surface layer of what modern defense research has already become. Maybe DARPA truly is what supporters claim: an agency designed to protect the future through technological innovation. Or maybe its history reveals something more complicated: a world where secrecy, experimentation, surveillance, and military ambition have been evolving quietly behind closed doors for decades. Because the most unsettling question may not be what DARPA has already revealed to the world, but what it never intended the world to see at all.